Hey everybody, welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby, sitting in for RC, who is on his way to Dubai tonight, where he's going to be teaching at Gulf Photo Plus, in his steed, with a beautiful full beard, a lustrous, beautiful, full beard thing, Mr. Brad Moore.
Hello, everybody.
But you know, since our guest today, who you'll meet in just a moment, our guest today is an amazing concert photographer.
Yes, he is.
Then I thought, of course, it'd be appropriate to have Brad on and move him from his nether regions, where he's usually on the other side of the studio, but now he's right up close to us, which is nice because Brad's kind of sick. He's got a cold. Let's put him right up next to me. Thanks. But we have a super cool guest today, and an amazing photographer, an incredible businessman, a social media rock star, Adam Elmakias. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, and hello.
How you doing?
I'm good.
How are things?
Good.
Let's talk about your shirt.
Oh my God.
So
I made a bunch of shirts.
You made a bunch of shirts. They can't see your shirt because of your
It's
thing.
all camera related. My one yesterday. Tell them about my one from dinner.
Yeah, so we went to dinner last night, and he wore a Rule of Thirds shirt. It didn't say Rule of Thirds. It was just the Rule of Thirds on his shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, respect.
The idea is that just photographers get them, and everybody. It's like our inside jokes, you know. We gotta have jokes within each other.
Would there be any chance that we could give some of those away today on our show?
Yeah, we could give some of those away.
Yes. What about your new book? Could we give that away?
We could give that away too. It's technically a magazine. I'll let it slide, but yes, we can give that away.
But it's very bookish.
It's bookish. It's a bookish magazine.
It's a bookish magazine. We're going to give that away.
We're going to give it away.
Can we give away all your gear today on the show?
No.
Okay. Well, I was just saying how far we can take it. Hey, so we've been asking you guys to give us your questions, and we're going to jump right in here. But I kind of brushed over this a minute ago, but RC is on his way tonight to Dubai. Now, I want to give him a moment of silence because he's in coach. So let's just,
like most people in the world are,
feel his pain. He tried for the upgrade. It did not happen. There's nothing sadder than not being able to use upgrade points for a 14-hour trip. Let's just wait, let it marinate, and we're back. Anyway, so he's going over to Gulf Photo Plus. It's this incredible event that they do in Dubai every year. Joe McNally's there. Mm-hmm. Peter Hurley's there. Ooh. Tamara Lackey's there.
Peter Hurley's actually there this year, unlike last year.
Oh, yeah, he was supposed to be there, and something happened.
Something with his passport was about to expire.
Yeah, he had a passport thing, and they wouldn't let him go.
I think he made it this time, so.
This year, he's got a valid passport. Pete Collins is on the floor today. And by on the floor, I mean literally he's sitting on the floor. And I don't think you can get a picture of him down there. Oh, wait.
Do you have
he's
a
moving the jib.
Maybe.
Go ahead, wait. Pete is on the floor, and that's an alluring pose. There he is. Pete is moderating your comment. I don't know if that's really moderating, but Pete was obviously shot at some point. Anyway,
his shirt matches the walls.
So we have a bunch of questions, and if it's okay, hey, can we look at some of your work real quick, just before we hit the first question?
I think we have some example photos. There's one.
Look at this stuff.
We got a photo.
He's oh God, look at that.
Ooh, ball running in a ball.
See, this is one reason I've been a fan of Adam's for years.
Look at this stuff.
Thank you, guys.
This is why he has 500,000 people that follow his feed on Instagram.
How many photographers have a merch tent on Warped Tour?
Yeah, he's got his own merch tent, right?
And it's sponsored by Western Digital.
Look at that. I like hard drives.
So as we're looking at this stuff, I have a very short story. I met up with Adam in St. Pete this past summer for Warped Tour. We're hanging out, and we're hanging out backstage, and we're about to go out into the crowd, and he was just like, "Hey, I just got to warn you, like, people kind of know me here, so just consider yourself warned, I guess." I don't know if those were his exact words, but so sure enough, we go out, he puts in his earplugs, and we're just walking, and every 5 seconds, there's people yelling, "Adam, is that Adam? Oh my gosh, that's Adam Makias. Can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph?"
I'm getting
you would have thought he was the lead singer of the main band. He's not going to say that because he's a very humble person, but I was just like, oh my gosh, this is insane. It's crazy.
Thank you.
Okay, stop right there.
Yes.
Stop on this picture.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite thing to do.
Okay, that's you in that Angry Birds costume, isn't it?
Yeah, I made sure we cover this on the show because I'm most proud of this, probably of my whole career. And A Day to Remember lets me, for one song, go on stage with the T-shirt cannon and launch 10 T-shirts into the crowd. And then afterwards, I take an inner tube and I get to surf on top of the crowd.
Have you ever fallen off it?
Oh yeah, this is this is in France at a festival called, can I say, at Hellfest.
Yeah,
I can say
that's
that?
fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can say Hellfest.
I don't know how strict it is here.
It's not very strict. We've had Jared Poland on here, so there are no. Well, that's the day we stopped having rules of.
Oh, okay.
You can say anything at this point.
Okay, cool.
He
cool.
set the bar really, really, really up there.
Okay, sweet. Well,
I just took you off your game, didn't I?
So that was at
I won't
Hellfest.
swear.
I was at Hellfest and I was arrested.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, yeah. I get to do that every day, and it's fun because I get out in the crowd, and it's just a good time to be able to. One day we were playing on a beach, and they crowd surfed me into the water and threw me in the water, and that was very fun too. So every day, that day, Jeremy's like, "Take him in the water." That's their singer, and they did. I think that was in Helsinki, but it's just it's a good time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You live an exciting life, don't
Yeah, I was
you?
going to say your life's a little different than ours. So the other day I yelled to the staff here, "Hey, put me in a raft and throw me in the river," and everybody just walked by me as I laid in the raft. It was terrible. Hey, we're going to get to your questions right away because you guys have been gracious to send in a lot of them. We're also taking your questions live on the air. You can also go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/skelby, and just pop it right in there, and I'll check you out. And of course, if you tweet to the Grid Live, I'll do it there. Ooh, I got to retweet this. I just retweeted it.
And so we should probably say their name and what their question is, and then we answer.
No. We say their name and then we read the question and then we go to commercial.
Okay, perfect.
All right, the first one I think is pretty good here. Actually, that's not the one I wanted to. Can you scroll up a little bit? There was a really good question I wanted to start with. All right, here we go. This is it's going to sound like a simple question, but I think it's a good one. So this is from Ariana Nicole, asks, and I think it's a good opening question. What kind of camera would you recommend to a newbie to music photography?
Well, now you've got me nervous because you said make sure you answer it 100%. And I kind of have an answer for this, but I think it's important. Obviously, money is the main contributing factor when you're buying your first camera.
Money is always your contributing factor. I don't care how long you're in photography.
It's a big deal when you're first buying. So it's like, how much do I want to invest in this thing that I don't know if it's going to pay for itself or not? So that is a big step. But I always tell people to use dpreview.com. That's my favorite website to compare cameras. And I basically say, figure out what you want to photograph most, and then figure out what camera's best for it. But I love the Rebel series, the starting cameras for Canon. That's what I started on.
Like the TI5 or the 6 or whatever it's at.
Everything
they keep adding numbers.
Yeah, everything after Rebel I just consider pointless. Just basically say Rebel series.
Can you find out what the latest Rebel is? Because they're
Rebel
always
series
adding a
Canon,
number.
and then you have all these mirrorless cameras coming out as well now, which are, I'm not super up to date on technology. I don't know how well you follow it, but.
Okay, look, you're 26. If you're not up on technology, really, who is?
Well, yeah, I'm up to date on it, but only when I need to be. So if I'm going to buy a new camera, then I'll probably ask.
Then you become a shark.
Yeah, then I ask Canon Rumors guy what's good, and I ask my other friends who know a lot about technology what to get. But I think Rebel series. What do you?
So Rebel series. I think Rebel series is a good one. Now, that the Rebel series it's pretty inexpensive. It's a really good. Mm-hmm. But if you're shooting in low light a lot, how do you think the Rebel's going to hold up?
Well, you could get that 50 millimeter 1.8 lens for.
There you go.
That's a pretty cheap lens. That's the best lens to start with. It's like $100. It's plastic.
Yeah, it's $125.
$125.
On Canon, yeah.
I stand corrected. Yes.
No, it's low. It's just I spend too much time on B&H.
There you go.
I just ask me prices. I'm like, I think that's about 125 with a 50 millimeter 1.8.
Perfect.
All right.
There's a bunch of different Rebels. So
I give you 25 off if you need
if I had to guess, I would say probably the T6S sounds like a newer one.
Yeah, T6S sounds new.
That sounds good. Get the T6X.
Yeah.
All right. This is
a little over $1,000.
Tyler Cassidy asks, what, in your opinion, is the best concert you've ever been able to photograph?
Best concert. Ooh, I made notes because some of these questions I was like, I got to think for a sec. But my favorite, Slipknot, because they light their stage like it's a theater show. Like they light their stage, like the lighting is perfect because they go everywhere, and it's like no matter what you take a photo of, it looks perfectly lit. You shot a concert before, obviously, and it's hard to get the right lighting in certain situations. But with them, everywhere they are on stage, it looks beautiful. So it's nice to shoot because you get good photos.
Did they wear the mask and all that?
Oh yeah, they wear masks.
Okay,
they wear a lot. They're scary. And then
they're terrifying.
Drake was cool too.
Drake? Oh,
Drake is one of my. Jake was one of my favorites. Shot his Coachella set, and that was very fun. And he just. It's just him up there, so it's easy to focus on what you need to photograph.
Yeah, there's not 15 people running around.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people, and you can really perfect your shot and get the shot you really want.
All right. Here's a good question from Ben Bartlett. Ben asks, it's a long-distance dedication. No, Ben asks, do you think that it's still possible for anyone to become a music photographer in today's scene without credentials or knowing people in the industry?
Well, I guess it depends. I mean, if you're 10 years in and you still don't have credentials or knowing people in the industry, that's kind of doing something wrong. But if you're just starting out, I think that's assumed you don't know anybody in the scene or without credentials. So I guess it's kind of like...
You know what I think that Ben's question really is?
Yeah.
How do I get credentials without knowing anybody? Because the questions, it's a very interesting question, but I just think it's posed in kind of a different way.
Yeah.
In that, I think what he's trying to say is, look, I don't have credentials. I don't shoot for an accredited thing, and I don't know anybody in the business, so how do I get access to the pit? I think that's more kind of,
the pit isn't really for you, I guess, if you don't have credentials. I mean, that's not
hashtag roasted.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that in like a, hey, get out. I'm just saying like the purpose of photographing a concert is you're not there for yourself. So if you're not shooting for a publication, then what's your purpose of being there? You're not helping the band grow. And if you're not credentialed, I guess your other option, if you're not there for a publication, then you're ideally there for the band. So if you're not there for one of those two people, then usually you're just watching the show. You're not working. So I guess that would be my answer. And I don't mean that to be deterring. I just mean that in the very real of it. Why are you giving me like I just like took a stick and like just
can I tell you why?
something?
No, here's why.
That's the real of it.
This is why. And this is why. It's because you actually told the truth.
Yeah.
It's a sobering truth.
Yeah. I keep it real.
But I know. I'm refreshed and amazed.
Drop this mic?
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
No, I mean you told the truth. It's very tough to tell somebody like, hey, here's where we're at. You're not shooting for anybody. You're not with the band. You don't know anybody. So you're just saying like, how can I do this thing I'm not supposed to do?
Basically, you have to find somebody to shoot for if you want credentials.
Or if you can't find somebody to shoot for, create your own publication. Create something that somebody would want their photos published on. So that's kind of why I made that magazine, is because I wasn't able to shoot everything I wanted to shoot because I didn't have somebody to shoot for. And I just wanted to shoot for myself. So I make a magazine that people want to be in. And that's another option.
Go. That was pretty good.
Yeah. We got this.
Allie Fox asks, what's the grid I want to watch? Okay.
Welcome.
Let's see. Okay, here's a good one.
You like that?
Maria Garcia Vasquez asks, what's your secret to becoming a successful photographer? So what has been your secret? Like if you had to go, the thing that I think worked best for me and made me a success was blank.
Can I define success first?
Yes.
Because I think that's kind of important.
Yeah, sure,
that's an important aspect. I think success is really simple, and it's just enjoying what you're doing, always. So always having a good time with whatever you're doing at that moment in your life. So if I enjoy photography and music photography, I just make sure that that is what I'm doing. And as my enjoyment changes, maybe I start to enjoy something else, I try to change my career based on that. So mine hasn't been music photography and then switched to cooking, but it's been different things within music photography. So maybe it started with live photos, then it went to portraits, then lifestyle, things like that.
All right.
So that's,
So I'm going to add on to her question. So
Go.
If you had to feed your family and be happy with what you're doing, what would you do that? Because, I mean, you do a lot of really interesting things. You're an entrepreneur besides just, shooting for bands. I know that you shoot for a lot of different people.
Yeah.
So how does someone get to where you are? Because I know that I understand and I agree with the, I think being a success is being happy. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if your family's not eating, you're not very happy. Right?
So how can you be successful and also like generate income, like realistically?
Yeah. And that's not exactly what they asked. I'm just going to kind of
that makes sense.
There.
I mean, that's a deep question. It is, isn't it? I mean,
yes, and and you know what we can do? We can come back to that one because it is kind of deep. You want to come back to it?
Can we come back to it?
Absolutely, because there's another one.
We have breaks?
Yeah, we have all kinds of stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'll save my water drinking for later.
How about this? Sydney Kless asks, your top choice of any musician in any era, like if you could photograph anybody in any era, including Bruce Springsteen,
Eminem.
who would it be?
Eminem.
Eminem?
Yeah.
Can I tell you
Eminem's
something?
watching.
I love Eminem. You know I have Eminem on my iPod?
Really?
Yes, I do.
He's awesome.
I'm sorry?
His face.
A plain M&Ms.
They have pretzel. They have crispy.
What? He's one of the best rappers ever.
Oh yes.
Like in the history
100%.
of rap. Like really, really hardcore, serious rappers go, yeah, Eminem, that guy's good.
Have you seen his face? His face looks amazing. He's got like cool jawbone. He's not like nice shaped head. It would just be very fun to photograph. I think he would look awesome. And I just feel like I'd be like, hey, thank you. I listened to you for like 12 years in a row. I appreciate it.
All right, so now I have a question.
Yeah.
If knowing that you know that, what would be your path to shoot him? Like if you were said, you know what, I just said on a show I want to shoot him. What would be my path? How could I, if that was your dream, how would you do that?
If we're talking about rappers, we might want to say photograph.
What did I say?
Shoot.
Oh, God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brad is on the show.
There is Brad Moore.
Brad contributing knowledge.
I'm going to say Brad's next line for you. That's what she said. Okay, back to our show.
It wouldn't have fit in there.
I know, but
Nobody
you
else
just say it
understand that
enough
joke.
that you can put it anywhere. Okay, Pete's going, yeah. All right.
All right.
Okay, so you want to shoot, you want to photograph Eminem.
Look at that person's name. Adam Elmakias is God.
That is not their name, that is their handle. It's perfectly appropriate.
Okay.
So, because is God is a weird last name. All right. How do you get to it? What would be if you had to sit here right now and go, all right, I got to put together a game plan to shoot Eminem.
I guess I would probably figure out who's on his record label, because he has a record label,
All right.
and start photographing them.
Oh, try other bands on his same label.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't just be like, well, I'm going to figure out where he lives. I'm going to go to his house. I'm going to knock on his door and just cross my fingers.
Come on,
That-
knock on his door.
Yeah, that would be a route, but then he might return the favor and shoot me. So let's not do that.
Okay.
So I think that the correct route would be to, I feel weird like thinking this out and talking about it, but I feel like you probably shoot people he knows, probably photograph things that he would see. So for me, it would probably be like, I don't know, who's on his label? Yellow Wolf. There's other rappers on his label, people that he works with, do a good job, network. I don't know, maybe in 10 years you meet Eminem. Who knows? It takes a while.
It takes a while?
It takes a while.
You
10
mean it
years.
doesn't all happen just with a snap of your fingers?
No, it takes so long that you couldn't even predict how any of that stuff happens. You can guess. But
Oh, I know,
yeah,
right?
It's
And-
crazy.
Now,
When,
you never
when
know.
You're, when you're saying you want to photograph him, are you saying you want to take his portrait?
Yeah,
You want
portrait.
to shoot him live?
Oh, you
I
want
could
to
have
do
shot
a
him live. I
portrait.
just didn't. I actually saw him live once, and I was very disappointed. I hope I can see him live, and he performs like Drake does, because he performed with like a production. It was really bad. So.
Well, I think your opportunities for shooting him just went down by about
Eminem,
25%.
I know you watch the grid on what day it is today. I know you watch
Wednesday.
it on Wednesdays, but I'm sorry. Oh, I got a full screen.
Well, yeah, when you say
When
something
it's a
intense,
apologetic
they switch to you.
confessional kind of
Apologetic.
thing.
And you know what? Can we do a slow zoom while he's doing it?
I'll go under the table.
Let's go.
Come on, guys.
No, the slow zoom is like, that's where...
You have to have somebody on the camera. Sticks, where you at?
Sticks, come on, give him the slow zoom for like, I'm sorry, Eminem.
All right, Eminem, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you.
That's the worst zoom I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Who
It was
taught
like-
you how to do this?
Okay, zoom is supposed to be like
That was
rack
Eminem.
zoom. It was like zoom, zoom, out of focus. He's like,
I give you a round of applause.
Video guys don't zoom.
all right, we're getting off of Eminem. Tony Bush. Here's a really good one. Tony Bush, how do you get your work in front of people that will hire you? So prospective clients.
That actually kind of goes into the question that we were coming
Ooh.
back to, right?
What's the successful? But
Yeah.
I figure I have a good answer for that one, and I actually wrote it down because I actually thought about that one ahead of people, or ahead of this.
time.
Yeah, I misspoke there. What did I say? Wait, what's the question?
The question is,
Hey, it's my first time here. You can't laugh on me on
which
set.
two
You gotta
countries
give me some slack.
border Finland? No.
No.
It's how do you get your work in front of the people that will hire you? So how do
Yeah.
you get your work in front of prospective clients?
I think the first step is to get yourself in front of that person. That's what really comes in. You have to get in a position where you're pretty much meeting this person, or you have a face-to-face or something with that person, and then bring up your work. I think that's the best way to get it to stick. Like, yeah, they can see your photos, but will it really matter unless they can connect it to who would be shooting these photographing these photos? So that's what I think is the best thing.
That's hard to do.
That is hard.
Like,
That's
let's
how
say
you
that
can
you-
really seal the deal.
Right. So let's say that you wanted to shoot for a record label.
Yeah.
How do you get in front of the record label to say, hey, will you look at my portfolio, or how do you?
Yeah. You have to, I think that for me, what I did was I started with their smallest artists. So even though they're smaller artists and are a lot more attainable, like maybe the same people who manage One Direction manage a band playing at your bar or something like that, you still shoot them. The same people who work for that other band will still see your photos. So that's kind of like, you kind of step up slowly like that. And, you start small till you gain
So
their
if you
trust.
want One Direction, you start with 35th Direction.
Yeah, 35th
and then
Direction.
you move your way
That is
up.
a very good joke.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's Brad taught me that
Don't
one.
encourage him.
All right. Hey, you know what? I just think we need a break. I think we need a break for a whole bunch of reasons. But when we come back, we are
In
going
trouble?
we're going to have a talk. Yeah, we're going to talk about the bad word you said earlier. I think that needs to be talked about. By the way, we have a studio audience today, and we are very excited. They've been a little quiet because there's only 2 of them. But should a third person arrive, I think it's going to get crazy. We have no plans for a third person today, but you never know. Sometimes people pop by the set. Sometimes we've had Kendrick Lamar just stop by.
Oh yeah, maybe he'll bring Eminem.
Maybe he'll bring Eminem. Sometimes,
Yes.
Eminem watches on Wednesdays. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more Adam Elmakias and more of your questions and more of Brad with his witty repartee right here. Look, he's stoned. He's completely...
It's the only way I can get a word in anyway, so whatever.
Wow.
Pan.
Wow.
I don't know how to join this conversation.
Brad, you'll see Brad over there next week back in his... Hi, everybody. Scott Kelby here. Are you on Instagram and do you want to grow your audience? Of course you do. Everybody's on Instagram today. Well, I was on Instagram, but I was going nowhere. And you know what? I put together a strategy through a lot of research, through a lot of checking things out and making some smart decisions, and my Instagram's exploding. I'm adding between 1,500 and 2,000 people a week, and you can do the exact same thing, and I show you how in my brand new class, How to Build Your Instagram Audience on Kelby One.
Hi, I'm Richard Burnaby. Welcome to the beautiful Blue Ridge Parkway of North Carolina. We're going to go on a photographic road tour, photographing waterfalls, sunrises, sunsets, grain landscapes, mountains. We're going to talk about gear, we're going to talk about camera settings, and most importantly, we're going to talk about my thought process that goes into each of the compositions, the locations we visit. So I hope you check out my brand new class only on kelby1.com.
Hey, we're back. You'll notice that Brad's not here, which is interesting. Anyway, but all right, Brad's been in the penalty box. You can come back. We have a penalty box here, and then when you do something like Brad just did.
Something like I do every day.
Anyway, good to have you back, Brad.
Hey, yeah.
So we have Brad, we have Adam Elmakias here, and we looked at some of your work earlier, and it's just sick. It's sick.
Well, thank you.
And I follow a lot of different people on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff, and I know a lot of concert photographers. There's definitely something different to your stuff, and I think here's your blog. Like, I love your header picture, by the way. 30 seconds to Mars. That's
And,
awesome.
What city? Prague. 30 seconds to Mars in Prague.
Prague.
Or outside of Prague at a festival.
Look at that.
Ooh, you can go intern with Adam?
Yeah.
You have an interim thing?
Yeah. They already won already. It's in the UK. Every day I have a new person who is coming and assisting me for the night.
Nice.
Shooting a
Really?
concert. Yeah.
Music
Wait.
photographer.
Concert photographers get assistants?
You get an assistant?
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I have an assistant.
How do you get an assistant?
All
Because you're
Time Low
working with
was
the
really
bands.
cool, and they said, I was like, hey, can I get one person from each city to come and help me out, because these venues are so big and I want to get a lot of shots. So they're helping me shoot a lot of the crowd shots. So they're going to be running
Awesome.
around, and I give them a little 30-minute
What a
workshop.
great opportunity.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
That's cool.
Dude, that's great.
Gonna meet some cool photographers too.
You are.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
My hat's off to you. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. You
So,
want to come assist?
I'd love to. I'm not very good. Tony Garcia. Well, I've shot. Can I tell you how many concerts I've shot?
How many?
One.
Two.
One.
Two.
Two?
You shot something at House of Blues, didn't you?
Who'd you shoot?
In like Atlanta or somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Two.
Yeah.
Two.
Who's the one you remember?
Disciple.
Disciple. I shot Disciple.
Oh, wait,
because it
you
was
told
my
me about
son's favorite band.
And who's the
and
second
I
one?
made big posters. The second one was, I have to look
It's a
it
good
up.
father.
It's like a
Good
singer-songwriter.
father.
Yeah, I can
girl.
tell you. I have to look it up though, but
Okay.
because it was a while ago. But so I wouldn't be your first pick as backup. I know a really good concert photographer, but it wouldn't be me. Tony,
He's too much of a smart.
he is a little smart. He's Snoop smart. Tony Garcia asks, because you shoot Canon, right?
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? I looked at your gear.
Yeah.
Your gear is really impressive. It's impressive in that I can't believe that you get the amazing stuff you do with so few lenses,
Yeah.
and you're not using like super high-end stuff,
Thank you.
and the quality of your stuff is as high-end as it gets.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
and
that.
I mean it sincerely. I looked at your stuff and I'm like, wow, that guy's really, what you get out of just a few lenses and a couple of bodies, and they're not like, so the question someone's asking is, Tony Garcia says, are you going to get the new Canon 1DX Mark II from Tony Garcia.
Well, I actually went out to eat with Scott last night, and you told me you have an extra one.
I don't even have one. I had it for 2 days. I got to go shoot one game and another game, and they're like, this has to be FedEx back tomorrow, and if it's not, we find you and kill you on the spot.
Wow.
So I would give you, if I had extra ones just lying around, I would love to see what you would do with one. Because
that's probably I think I might get one. That's like my first, what do you call it? A full body?
The flagship.
Well, I have full
you
frame.
have 5D.
Yeah,
right?
I have full frame, but is that called like a full body compared to just, I don't know what the term is when you go.
No, it's just
because it's like the square instead of the rectangle.
It has I don't ever use a battery grip, so it's the one with.
Oh yeah,
you know
it's
what I
got
mean?
everything.
Yeah.
It's the like top of the line
The flagship.
flagship
It'll be
monster.
amazing. Its ISO goes to like what, 10 digits or something? It's something crazy. The
It is
ISO
crazy.
something nuts.
I know. I shot
Seen the dark.
one of the shots like in the locker room outside a game at 25,600.
Yeah.
Posted it on my blog. No noise reduction or whatever. You can't even see the noise.
That's
So
awesome.
you would have a ball with that thing.
Ooh.
All right. So
Canon,
you want
are you
one?
listening? Keep going.
Canon, are you listening? Cassie Denley asks, "What are your favorite moments on tour?" And we heard one of them earlier where you're surfing through the crowd.
That is one of
in
my
a-
favorite.
Yeah, some of your
thing.
specific
Yeah. Like
My
memories.
Yeah, my favorite is there's this place in Switzerland called Interlaken where I've been 3 times for a festival with a day to remembers, like the band I tour with the most. They're kind of my best friends. Comes to touring, and every time we go there, the first time we went, we rented ATVs and went ATVing like in the Alps or the mountains over there, and it was awesome. And then we jumped into this like glacial water lake.
freezing.
I actually didn't go in, but I took pictures of them jumping in, so that kind of counts. And then
Well, that certainly counts.
Yeah, and the second time we went canyoning there, which do you know what canyoning is?
No.
It's basically you go in like a canyon, like this, where the stream comes down from the mountains, and you get like a life jacket on and a thing that protects your butt and a wetsuit and a helmet, and you basically rappel and jump down waterfalls through the canyon.
Really?
And it was awesome. We did
That
that.
actually sounds awesome.
And then we did a ropes course, and we also just went running through the mountains there. It's just a beautiful place, and I know it's not maybe like a scandalous story, but it's just a really fun time to have adventures with friends. So that's what I love the most.
All right, I got a question here from Twitter.
Hope that answers your question. Yes.
Twitter.
Twitter it up.
What's your best advice for beginners who want to go to college for photography? Would you recommend that someone goes to college for photography? That's I guess what they're asking.
Yeah, I think that if college is really good for teaching you how to do like the technical aspects of photography and teaching you the correct way to do everything. Like I sometimes wish I went. However, most of the stuff you need to learn to become a successful photographer happens through work experience and happens by doing it and getting out there and learning how to not forget your memory card and how to make all those mistakes that you can only really learn by doing a photo shoot or being on the job. So I think school is good. It's a good start, but it's not going to guarantee you a job as a photographer.
So here's kind of the advice that I give when I'm asked that question. You can tell me if you would agree or disagree.
Brad, go.
But I usually tell people you can learn all the photography stuff online these days with Kelby One, but to be a successful photographer or any successful business person, you need to know business. So if you're not like naturally prone to like be a good business person, take business classes in college and learn that side of things.
That's good
if you're going to
advice.
go to college, and then you can learn all the other creative stuff after the fact.
Right, but I think what they're asking is to go to college
Right,
for photography.
right.
I'll tell you what my answer for this is. I've been asked this many times as well. I would say you need to go to college if you feel like you need to go. Like if you think, because you're not asking, I think I need to go to college because I'm really good at this. You're saying, I want to go to college because I think I could be good at this after 4 years.
Or if you're the kind of person that needs that built-in structure,
you need a lot of structure.
You're not good at setting your own deadlines and meeting goals or whatever on your own. You need somebody to push you along, and that's what college gives you.
Right. So there's other good things that college gives you, like beer. But I always tell people that. I said, if you think you need to go, you probably need to go. If you think, I need to go to school for photography, you probably need to go to school for photography. But if you think, if you're like, I don't need to go to school for photography, I got this, then you may or may not find out later you were right or wrong. But Kaylin Hickey asks, who is your favorite photographer?
Ooh, I love this photographer. His name's Colin Hughes, and I followed him for probably like 12 years. He's from Minneapolis, and I grew up friends with him through photography. But he's just like, his Instagram even is like beautiful, and he takes them all with his iPhone. He's just got the best eye.
Really?
Yeah, best eye.
What's his name again?
Colin Hughes.
Colin Hughes.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yeah, Collin, 2 L's.
2 L's. COL.
Yeah. And
Maybe we can get Meredith to pull his Instagram up. So
Yeah.
Colin Hughes, colon,
He
2
sh-
L's.
He shoots through doing what he loves. He like shot a lot of self-assigned portraits and like series and things like that. And then he started getting hired by different kind of like small startups. And then he slowly started working for Nike, and he shoots a lot of Nike golf stuff. Shoots a lot of golfers now, like Tiger, like big golfers too. That's him.
All right,
And he's
here's
shooting some
Colin.
divers right now. But his eye, I think, is beautiful. And I just love that he always. Well, there I am, from like 4 years ago, laying on the ground.
Is that you laying on the ground
Yeah,
like Pete
that's-
was earlier?
That's old, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just love how simple and I don't know. I think his work is beautiful, and I don't shoot like that at all, so it's cool to see.
No, his stuff is beautiful.
Yeah, it's got like it's just like you can't even pinpoint it. You just look at it and you're like, that's a really nice photo.
Sounds like a nice, clean
Yeah.
aesthetic to it.
It's very clean.
He gets rid of all his reds and yellows usually, and I like it.
Very cool. Thank you
Yeah.
for turning him on.
Yeah.
Char723 asks, Adam, do you work for a publication or are you self-employed? And if so, if you are, how do you obtain your photo passes, Adam?
Yeah, so I work for a few publications, but it's not like a full-time job. So
You're not on
Rock Sound,
staff.
yeah, Rock Sound, Alternative Press, and they mostly come to me when they need content. They don't really assign me to shoot a show. So a lot of my photo passes are through knowing the venue and shooting for the venue, or knowing the band that's playing the venue and doing that. So like if you look at my magazine, like a lot of the photos in there are of maybe like 4 different bands, but then all the rest of their photos are kind of photos that I guess I kind of snuck into their photo pits and was not really supposed to be there, but just kind of went to snag some photos. And I don't go in there and shoot like 20 photos and then sell them to people. I just try to get one photo that I really like and I leave, because that's kind of my goal. So yeah,
Now, you just shot for a venue. You just shot for the Amalie Arena. Mm-hmm. Can we see any of your shots you got from there?
Yeah. Keep going. I'll pull
Okay,
them up.
Brad got some. I thought he got some really, really good shots. So this person is Adam Elmakias is God is their handle, which is, what is your best
Thank
advice?
you for recognizing me as your Lord and Savior. He laughed.
I don't know what to say.
He laughed.
What is your?
He laughed. That's
what?
one.
That's
One
one.
of two.
We had two people
Two of
laughing,
two.
but. We're lucky we're not in a network, because they'd have pulled our show a long time ago. What is your best advice when red lighting gets the best of you during a concert? Now, I would ask a question. Is that a problem? Been a problem?
I bet if we all write down something, it'll all be like Jeopardy style. It'll all be the same answer.
Right. So, what is? Do you have a problem with red?
Well, I mean, when you shoot smaller clubs, a lot of the times maybe the lights won't even change, or they'll just be at a bar and red looks cool to the naked eye, but to your camera, it's like nothing looks nice, especially if you don't have low light capabilities. So I honestly, black and white. That's your solution. That's
So
usually the artsy solution, and I'm pretty sure you'll probably do the same thing, right? Black and white. It's bad light.
Oh yeah, I was telling you. I was telling Adam last night. One of the concerts I shot, they turned on 4 lights and left them on all night. 2 on the floor, 2 in the ceiling, and just. I think they were scheduled to play like a bigger venue, and at the last minute it didn't work out. So they went to the small venue. They just go 2 lights on the floor, 2 lights back there, and just on the entire night. The band put on an amazing show, but the light show was as bad as it gets, and so I made them black and white.
Yeah.
And they look great in black and white, and it looks horrible
Just
in
make it
color.
black and white. Don't tell anybody it's bad lighting. Just tell them you were going for the artsy, cool, grainy look, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's so good." Tell them it was intentional. They don't have to know.
There you go. All right. Nicholas G asks, or here's what they say. Already been shooting concerts for a while. What's the best way to start earning money for it,
Oh yeah, that's a
and to
tricky
get
one.
to shoot to get to shoot for the bands themselves?
The best way to start earning money for it is to working for publications, but it's kind of like you have to do a lot of shooting to just make a living off of that, and that's why being a music photographer is very difficult. So I suggest either shooting music more as your like personal and making a little bit of money from it, but shooting maybe weddings or something that's more profitable as your main job. Plus, I mean, music concerts really only happen at night, so it's not like it takes up your whole day ever.
Right.
And what was the other half of the question? And how do you get shoot for them? To shoot for a band, you've got to be friends with them. To be friends with somebody, you've got to hang out with them. You've got to meet them. So that kind of comes with networking. And you start small. You start with people you know. You start with local bands. You start with bands that basically just people who are within reach. You don't really, me personally in my career, I don't feel that it's ever right to make like huge hookups or huge jumps and huge leaps like that, because I like it to be like an organic kind of slow growth then you have a good support group, so you can never really fall off. Like, you don't lose a contact and then all of a sudden you're out of the job.
Yeah, you're out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, and you don't. That's the best way to learn too.
So for example, like, who did you start off shooting? Like, who was the first?
Ooh, first bands, a lot of local bands.
Right.
I'm from Madison, Wisconsin, so a lot of local bands there. And then the first bands I worked for that were national were called MD on the Coast, Four Letter Lie, and All Time Low. Were kind of like the first ones. A Day to Remember. The three of the bands that I started working with, I still work with because they're still around. But yeah, start small, and maybe those bands will get big and help you out too. You never know.
Yeah.
Marshies asks, and I'm not sure I'm saying that right, have you ever had a bad experience at a music concert festival? Like something went really bad?
Yes, a lot.
A lot?
Music festivals are hard.
Wow.
Because, well, I'm there not on a typical photo pass. I'm there on an all access pass. So I'm not technically supposed to be in some photo pits. And when you're in other countries and there's a language barrier and people are yelling at you, you don't hear it. So there's been times, I think in Switzerland, where there's been times where I've just ran away from security because it's like I'm not really supposed to be there, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm just being annoying. Yeah, I'm just being annoying. But like sometimes there's no problem. Like when I shot Metallica, I just walked in. Like I just walked in the photo pit. There was no security. But then I was shooting, I think in France, I had a time where they wouldn't let me in the photo pit for A Day to Remember after the first 3 songs, and that's who I worked for. So that's a time when I have to I have to yell at people to let me in because, I mean, that's my job. I have to be there. But it's hard with the language barrier, I think, is the hardest part.
So let me ask you, you're in Europe a lot, apparently.
Yeah, a lot.
Right.
Europe,
so
UK.
How do you pay for, do the bands pay for your flights? Do you pay for the bands pay for your flights?
Well, the first time I went over there, and the only time my parents or my dad has helped me out paying for my career, which was kind of cool for me, was the first time I went to Europe, I paid $800 to do round trip with A Day to Remember. And I went there and I wasn't getting paid, but I just wanted to go.
Right.
And from then on out, once the band started making enough money, then they would hire me and they would let me come with them. And yeah, I'm treated as a crew member. So everything is paid for. I'm not going to pay to work, you know what I mean? So they pay for everything and then you get paid too.
So you get food and
Yeah, everything.
liquor?
I don't really drink, but yes, when I first started, yes.
Oh, so you did drink?
I did drink,
So
but
you
then
have a drinking problem. Is that what you're saying?
I'm the drinking solution. No, yeah, I stopped drinking because, I mean, I wish that I could drink and like enjoy it. I don't like it really, but it's like free everywhere. Like, the bands never pay for it. They get so much free alcohol. Why can't they give us like free, I don't know, pomegranates?
Why can't they give you free filters?
Free filters?
Yeah.
Oh, for my camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on the rider, like you have a rider every day. So
and
you
I get a polarizer and an ND per show.
Yeah, or just skip it. Let's cumulatively just get like a 5D Mark. No, what is it? The new one, 1DX Mark II.
1DX Mark.
Yeah,
at the
that's
end
on
of
the
tour.
rider.
Here
Yeah.
it is on the rider.
Perfect.
You know what's interesting? So, so you said you spent $800 and your dad loaned you the money, which is awesome. He's a good dad.
Yeah.
And it paid off. It was
Yes.
a great investment for him.
It was
you know.
awesome. Yes.
All right. But if you had a thing where it said you can go tour with a band in Europe and all you have to pay is $800, do you know how long the line would be?
Oh, yeah.
To pay that $800, it would go into the next state.
But you're not going to keep paying that over and over and over.
Well, the thing is,
if it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
then-
Right.
Well, if you're touring with a band,
Yeah.
you're living with them. You're their friend. You have to exist with the band, and that is a whole learned skill set that took me. I'm socially inept to a degree. When I started doing this, I did not understand that life, you know. And so when I started, it took me years to just realize how to exist with people like that. I mean, you're with them all the time.
Your
Pretty much
family.
married to them. Yeah. So it takes a while to learn that. So if you were to just start by touring with a big band, not touring at all before, they're not going to hire you again. You know what
I got a question.
Yeah.
You ever been thrown off a tour?
I've not been thrown off a tour, but I have gotten not hired again from artists that I think the one artist that I messed up on was this guy called Tiesto. He's like a DJ. You know?
DJ Tiesto, sure.
Yeah. So I shot for him when I was like 21, and nothing bad happened. Like, I didn't like really mess up. I just think I wasn't really a fit. Like, this is a huge, successful, publicly known image guy, and I'm like this long-haired, like 21-year-old, like still look like I'm 17, teenager walking around with a camera and not, you know, just not very holding myself very well. And I think that's what really killed it for me, is I didn't really fit the job, if that makes sense. And that's part of the job.
And there's a lot of crossover in the kind of emo punk EDM worlds.
Yeah.
Like with crew and stuff.
Crew's all the same for everybody.
Emo, punk, EDM.
There's a question up here that I saw that I think is a really interesting. Joseph B56 asks, if I take photos of a band, can I put them on my site or Etsy or somewhere else to sell them? Because I know that you have a certain philosophy about this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I want to get your take on this.
I mean, I guess it just depends if you sign something. I mean, if you take a photo, this is the way I see it. If somebody is buying the photo because it's your photo, that's good. If somebody is buying the photo because and just because of who's in the photo, I think that is bad. Because you should not be using somebody else's image solely to sell your photos. I don't think that's the correct thing to do. Legally, I'm not sure what you can do.
He's not a lawyer, people.
Yeah,
not a lawyer.
ethically, you want to do what you can do to keep a good name for yourself. Like if you're checking out of the music photographer club, then maybe start selling images of people you don't have permission to.
Well, that happens in sports a lot. So
Yeah.
I've been to professional games where sometimes I go up to the second mezzanine to take a shot or something, and there are people there taking shots of the team and handing out their business cards. Like they're shooting the game with a really long lens. They have to sneak
From
it
the
in.
crowd?
From the crowd, and then they'll pass out pictures and go, hey, if you want some shots from the game, here you go, and handing out their.
But who goes home and buys that? People.
Apparently, somebody does it because they
keep coming back and doing it.
This
Print 'em
looked
online.
like a business. This didn't look like a guy that thought, oh, maybe I should give somebody my card. He was walking around. He had a whole spiel, and of course, if the venue catches you, they enforce it.
Yeah.
But these people that are there doing it are pretty good at knowing when the security guard's around and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
that is wild.
It's the same kind of thing. Hey, we're gonna take a short break. We still have a lot of great questions. Great questions are still coming in, so keep them coming, and we will be right back. Don't go away. We're live here on the grid with Adam Elmakias, a beautiful, beautiful man.
Create your own space at squarespace.com.
So we all love food. How do we get food to look amazing on camera? I'm Steve Hansen. I'm a commercial food and beverage photographer based in Seattle. And in this class, we're going to be showing you how to do just that using nothing more than a window and natural light. We're going to be covering a variety of things, how to manipulate that light, how to style the perfect egg. We're going to be shooting a breakfast table from overhead. We're going to be shooting lemonade being illuminated from the back and creating this amazing glow. And we'll be covering a multitude of additional techniques which will take your food photography to the next level. Come check out my class on food photography and styling with natural light on Kelby One.
Hey, we're back. We are back. I was just saying to Adam here that we have a lot of questions. I want to get to as many as we can, so we're not going to be able to go as in depth with the answers here.
Turbo round?
But there's a bunch of we have to have like a lightning round here because we have a lot left. Hey, just a couple of things I wanted to mention.
For the record,
Yeah,
it's our show. We can go as long as we want.
I know, but we shouldn't. We try not to go too long. It's
Kids
just
to feed. We have kids to feed.
something
Yes.
like that. But what did I want to mention? I wanted to mention something. Who knows what it was? What's our class for tomorrow? We have Thursdays. We have a new class come out. What is it?
It's a good question.
Nobody knows. So tomorrow, some class will be coming out. It's good.
It's on grammar.
Hey, you know what I'm doing tomorrow? I'm doing a TEDx talk tomorrow. You know what my TEDx talk's
Did you get that
about?
figured out?
Yeah.
Concert photography.
No, I'm doing a whole thing on nude selfies. So
Really?
I'm just I've done this. I've been collecting them for a while, and they're.
It's called Underexposed.
It's called Underexposed. Thank you, Pete.
Nude
And so-
selfies.
No, I'm actually talking about.
art of
I'm talking
exposure.
about retouching. It's a whole thing about retouching and good retouching and bad retouching and stuff like that. And all right, hey, so tomorrow we have a new class coming out. It's from Terry White, who is a worldwide evangelist for Adobe, and so this is for people who have the entire Creative Cloud. Because we get asked a ton of questions about. Okay, I know that you download Photoshop and you download Lightroom or whatever, or InDesign. What's all the other stuff? What are all the? There's a ton of stuff to the Creative Cloud that's not downloading an application. So we have a class on that coming out tomorrow.
I'm gonna watch that class.
So you'll be amazed when you see all the other stuff that's there, and that comes out tomorrow. So that's with Terry White, Adobe's evangelist, and Terry's one of my favorite
You know
teachers.
what? We just had dinner with Terry last week.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, in Atlanta.
And a concert guy.
Yeah, with the drummer for Third Day. And
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
It was awesome. All right, so
wait, I have something. So you just did a bunch of promo. Is this okay? Can I interrupt?
Promo
you can do
away.
anything you
I figure
like.
this is like 1/3, kind of. Maybe let's do 1/4, a little bit of my show today, like a tiny bit. Not trying to like sound conceited, but can I promote something real fast?
I would love it if you promoted something
All
real
right.
fast.
Can I have? This is gonna be not photography related.
It's okay.
Can I have a?
Go to his computer, Meredith.
I think-
Please. Are you airplaying properly and all that
I'm on
stuff?
3. That's my desktop. Oh,
That's your desktop. Yeah, I think.
Oh, hit mirroring. Or drag
Yeah,
it
turn
over
on
there.
mirror or drag
this
it
is a
over there.
baby tapir, and they're very cute animals.
That is a baby tapir.
They're
oh, it's
cute.
a baby
Hey,
tapir.
it's from Nashville. Look at that.
They're endangered, and everybody should. Tapirs are amazing. I just want to let everybody know.
That's awesome.
Well, that's not a self promo.
He didn't say self-promo. He said just promote something.
Well, that's very good. Those are tapirs.
Did that for my girlfriend.
Oh, you did for your girlfriend?
Yeah.
I got you, bro. I understand. Our studio audience understands.
We all understand.
We all understand. All right.
Are
Wait,
you letting me
hold
come back
on.
ever? Is that like acceptable?
Here.
Or is that like a no-no? You can't show baby tapirs.
Yeah, I
on
tell you what.
The grid.
That
It was naked.
Well, it was when Jared Poland was on. We decided no more baby. What are they?
Tapers.
Tapirs.
Tapers.
You just taught
Because-
you and you already
Well,
forgot.
no, what he did was
Come
he
on.
actually sacrificed a baby tapir on the show, and so we said no more mention.
Put the address online. My
Of
girlfriend
them.
will find his house, and
Yeah, it
She
was
will.
it was it was not good.
Actually, real quick, we do have something you can self-promote for. Why are you even here to begin with?
yesterday,
Yeah, Adam.
we went and got good food yesterday.
What'd you do before that?
Yes, we did.
What'd you do
Filmed
today
it.
and tomorrow?
What'd you do today?
We filmed a class, a workshop. I don't know what the like formal name
Just
is.
a class, online class.
A class that will be available
For Kelby
on
One.
Kelby One, and for those of you who are here that maybe came here from my Twitter feed and are new to Kelby, it's basically he has a ton of online photography tutorials of just by like basically photography masters, and then I'm included somehow. And just kidding, but
He said modestly.
yes, I'm included. Well, I didn't want to talk myself up, but I'm included in this now, which I'm
We've
very
already talked you
honored.
up.
Yeah, dude, that's why we had to do your bio for you.
I know.
Because he couldn't write a bio. He's like, I can't talk about myself. We're like, dude, we'll do it for you. We'll do. So we recorded a little bio where we're like, look,
I
this
did
guy's.
send a bio in, you know that.
I know, but it was like,
You talked about my camera.
you were like, I shoot some photos.
Yeah, that's 2 cents.
I'm nice to tapirs.
I'm glad collaboratively we made everything work out, and I have a workshop coming out, and you guys should check it out. It'll be up in, I think, a few weeks to
Well,
a little more
let's not
than
put
that.
a time on it.
Let's not put a time
It'll be
on
up-
it.
this
Let's say
is-
it'll be out
What's it
this
about?
year.
before 2017.
What's it about?
It's about basically my take on photography, how I got into photography, and it's about music photography, and basically I'm using music photography as my example to explain how to get into photography. So it's not just for music photographers.
So
but
it's for
talks-
anybody.
It's for anybody, and how to kind of progress and move forward, and what I think are some strong kind of tips, tricks to keep you moving forward and growing as a photographer. So,
Oh, good. I
And,
look
and
forward to
social
it.
networking and branding.
Ooh, social networking. What do you know about that?
Whenever it's up online, we will give you a link to send to your followers. So
Oh, yeah.
if you're here,
Send a link,
Adam will
and
give you a link once it's up.
you can watch it.
Yeah.
We'll give you a love link. All right, here comes our questions. Rapid fire.
Okay, go.
You can only use 2 words to answer each. No, I'm just kidding. Jim Kearns asks, what are the typical challenges when shooting in a concert setting?
Manual. Then you figure out the lowest shutter speed you're willing to go to, your highest ISO you're willing to go to, and usually keep your lens pretty wide open.
So that's Connie asking that question. Connie 0817, what are camera settings? So she asked a whole bunch of them. So what's your ISO?
My ISO, which ones do I use? My ISO, like highest I would go up to? Or I don't.
Like for
It changed. Well, the concert
depends on-
changes
I know, it depends on the
constantly.
lighting, of
It
course.
really depends on the light. So the confusion is those aren't settings that you pick and stick for a whole concert. Those are settings that you change. They're tools. You have to change them constantly. White balance doesn't matter because I'm shooting raw. I don't know my I do shoot autofocus, and yeah.
But you don't have a special autofocus setting you use, and
I use AI servo with the back button
Back
focus.
button focus, great.
So it tracks them.
yeah, and I use that same thing in sports.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's weird, it's interesting because if it's not moving, I don't use it. I
Okay.
do front button focus. But if like in other words, if I'm shooting portraits in the studio, I don't do back button.
No, there's no point.
Right. Okay. So your autofocus, you use back button focus.
Yeah.
Your white balance, you don't really care about because you're going to change it later.
Yeah, shoot
Your
them off.
ISO depends. But if you had to walk into a concert tomorrow night, you don't know what the lighting looks like. What's your starting ISO?
1600, I guess.
1600. There you go.
Yeah, let's go
All
for it.
right. So So what are the typical challenges when you're shooting in a concert setting? So going back to what Jim
typical
Kearns
challenges.
asked, like is it the bumping into people? Is it bad lighting?
There's so many challenges, and I think it gets harder the more you know about it. So like when you start, it's getting in the zone. It's like, yeah, like worrying about people falling on you, the fact you're in front of this band, and then as you get better, you kind of worry about the technical aspect. You're like, is my photo bright enough? Is it in focus? Is it not blurry? Things like that. And then as you get more into it and hopefully realize quick enough, you need to make the person you're photographing look good, which is probably the hardest and most, like, sure, let's say you have a great photo of Kanye, that's awesome, or let's say you have a terrible photo of Kanye, that's cool, it's Kanye, but don't post online. Nobody wants, like, that is the opposite of your job. You need to have a good photo of somebody who's also somebody, yeah.
That's exactly what happened with Beyonce. Somebody posted that terrible photo of her.
I thought it was actually a
and
really good photo.
She banned photographers from her show. She had the one photographer covering all of her shows. And that was the only
Wow.
person allowed to shoot.
That's kind of sick to be that
Yeah.
photographer. Yeah, she didn't look crazy in that photo.
Yeah. So anyway, there you
Yes, so don't mess up like Beyonce's photographers did.
Katie 80. I like that.
Ooh, that's a good name.
Katie 80 asks,
Are you 36?
it seems like the most successful photographers in any genre are also strong business people. Any pointers on studying business or resources for studying business for photographers, besides the class that you just created?
Business. Business is something that I kind of learned along the way. You know, you kind of learn as you go, and I think that I kind of got lucky with a little bit of a natural knack for that. So like Brad said, my route for business would be going to school or reading and doing your own research. School is good. I think that school is just kind of a guided internet course in some ways. Like you could just research most of that stuff on your own if you're not too lazy. Amazon reviewed best business books, read those. That's usually my resource.
There's actually a book called Best Business Practices for Photographers by John Harrington that tends to be kind of the Bible for that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you just have to start learning.
Yeah.
All right. Adam Elmakias says, God asks,
back. Or she's
what made
back.
you decide that you'd like to create a brand? And like, what assisted you, what assisted your success in launching it?
Well, I guess my brand started when I shaved my head. So every step of the way, I'm like, man, how can this get better? And then I do something that I don't really realize is going to affect it so much, such as like shaving my head, and it does affect it a lot. So I guess creating a brand is kind of like knowing what parts of yourself, because in a way you are your brand, you want to focus on. So for me, it's like my cat, aliens, I'm bald, I like music.
So
That's
let
it.
me ask you a question. Would you advise, because we've been talking to him about this quite a bit, would you advise Brad to shave his head bald? We've talked to him about it many times. We've shown him photoshopped examples of himself bald.
This is all lies.
And so what do you think?
It's never come up in conversation.
Would you just suggest him to go just bald?
Oh, I think that you should go bald. First, grow your beard twice as big, then shave your head. I think
There you
that'd be
go.
nice.
Isn't that like an Action Bronson thing? Like a
You can be action. You can be action Brad.
There's the profile shot. Glenn England asks, if you are not credentialed,
Yeah.
do model release issues come into play?
I have no idea.
you don't
I don't know
really
what that
do
means.
model releases for bands.
Yeah,
like,
you kind of have to do a press. What's a press?
You have a photo release.
Photo release,
the
yeah.
band makes you sign, but you're not getting the band to sign model releases.
I try to avoid. I've signed, I think, a total of 3 releases when shooting concerts in my life, or 4.
That's all. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's really
They're getting stickier and
because
stickier.
you're shooting for the band. Most
I
of the
hide
time.
from them, or like I'll just like forget, or just
Yeah.
because I mean I don't
Just
like
kind of
it.
slip through the cracks.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? There's also, I believe, and I'm not an attorney, not giving legal advice. I'm just talking to Brad here and Adam.
legal advice.
I believe that there's a separate set of rules for like when you photograph a football game. You're not going to go and get model releases from the players. If you go
Yeah.
shoot a basketball game, if you shoot a ballet on stage, I mean, there's all kinds of things where there's a separate set of rules. I do not know what they are. I'm not an attorney. Jock's Photo asks, Adam, is there a market for some photos I've taken of Jimmy, Janice, Eric, see, these are all people in his neighborhood, and late 60s concerts?
Jimi
or
Hendrix.
is it a new world 3 generations removed?
Jimi Hendrix,
Janis Joplin,
Janis
Eric
Joplin.
Clapton.
Eric Clapton or Eric C.
I don't know. Put them online, hashtag them, and see if people buy them.
There you go, yeah. Connie 0817. Do you still get to rock out and enjoy the concerts while photographing them, or is it all business and getting the perfect shot?
I enjoy a lot of the music I tour with. That's what kind of allows me to get so into it. But I've seen A Day to Remember probably 160 times at least, and I don't not enjoy it. I just don't really notice it as much. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I have earplugs in and I can hear everything really well, but I'm kind of in my own zone, just like making photographs. The music for me is just really like kind of a cue of when to be where, when to look for what shot. So it's not all business. I'm not.
Well,
like,
that's
this
good
sucks.
about getting to shoot the same band again and again
Oh,
because
yeah.
you know what's coming.
Yeah, I could,
At
like-
just
you
can be in
certain
the perfect
point, the guy
position.
jumps off the riser and
Yeah, I could like shut my eyes and tell you a whole Day to Remember set for each member probably, just
Because it doesn't change that much from city to city.
No, because they got their vibe they do with each part, just like
Yeah.
anything in life, you know. Like if you, I don't know, it's just the same thing.
Bob Plotkin asks,
Ooh, I like that
what is the strangest restriction you've had to deal with?
He's Adam Elmakias. He doesn't deal with
He just
restrictions.
deal with it.
I'm trying to think.
Well, I mean, usually if you're shooting for
Some
the band,
some
but
bands make
probably
you
with a
not be able to
festival.
look at them. That's weird.
Huh?
When you get to certain levels, like when they walk down around certain areas, they just don't want you like let's say they're backstage walking around, they just don't want you staring at them, things like that. I never had to deal with it, but that's one of the things that I think is really, I don't know the reasoning behind that. Maybe it's just like they don't want to feel alienated in their own house for the day.
Yeah.
But that's a weird concept to me.
Connie asks.
Silence on the
Connie's
set.
very. Can I tell us questions? Connie says, "What do you think makes a great live music photo? Like if you had to narrow it down to something."
You look at it, and right away you want to, it like kind of pops out of your screen, and it's interesting, and you understand it immediately. That's how I feel about music photography. I don't feel like it's the same as like, let's say street photography. Sometimes you have to look at it for a little bit. You're like, what is really going on here? Music photography, I feel like it should just be like, they should feel there in the most literal way that you could make that, like just in the moment. And that's what I like about it.
Johan asks, "When you know a band well, do you also make backstage photos of them as well?"
Yes.
There you go. Lambert Picks,
God damn.
for your information, if concerts are anything like sports, it is mighty important to pay attention to the rights you're granted if you want to keep your credentials. That is true.
How did you make, you have to put a question mark at that to make it a question, my friend.
That's
like
right.
advice.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
That's a statement, Lambert Picks.
Lambert Picks is a photographer.
You have to
I'm
read-
gonna
this is
guess
like
because
Jeopardy.
Their last name is Picks.
Yeah, there we go. Kayla Pennell asks, or Pennell, I'm going to say it's Pennell.
What is the best way?
What is the best way to get a response from publicists when they don't reply the first few times?
Don't
their address.
email. No,
Nude
don't.
selfies.
Stop emailing them. If they don't reply, that's you got to know, and that's okay. It's okay to get turned down, but a no reply is a no. It's not a invitation to. Basically,
Use bold in all
yeah,
caps.
if you've emailed somebody once and then done a follow-up and they don't respond, that's a no. If you send more, then you are securing their spot and never getting a job from them. Maybe it doesn't work this time, but maybe it works next time you email them. And you don't want them to remember you as that person who emailed me 7 times to get a photo pass to a sold-out show.
Yeah.
So
One email
stop
and a
emailing.
follow-up.
Yeah, email and a
That's it.
follow-up. Keep your emails like 3 sentences or less, and you're good to go. Cool.
Sorry, I just got a notification on my watch. It's a CBS Sports update. Breaking news. Alabama closes with #1 recruiting class in the nation for the 6th year in a row, according to 247 Sports. Just wanted to pass it on. Breaking news from CBS News. Bob Plotkin asks, what is the best picture you missed and what happened?
Oh, there's one picture. I don't know the best one, but there is one that I'm really bummed about. And the thing for when I'm shooting from the pit that I always look out is where the security guards. Because security guards can move to catch kids and obviously people coming over for crowd surfing. And that's obviously more important than a photographer because they're saving lives theoretically. So, but I had a guy, and I sometimes put my hand out. It was a jump shot of a song I knew was coming up. And literally, as soon as they jumped, perfect shot, I have the shot if I could find it. He steps to his left and covers a full person with his head. And I was just like, no. And honestly, most of the shots that I missed that are really good, I don't remember that I missed them because that's kind of how it works. So you don't really remember the ones you miss, you remember the ones you make, and it's kind of a good thing about photography, I think.
Feel the love. All right. So, well, my friends, we've run out of time. And by that, I mean we run out of time. Now,
What are some of the giveaways we're doing?
I was going to say, we have some cool giveaways. What are they? Here we go.
Should I just like hold them
Yeah.
up?
Yeah,
And how
just,
do they- are you-
just show them and talk about them.
This is your Music Photographer magazine. It's my first edition of a magazine that I created, and it has photos from yours truly in it and descriptions on how they were taken. So
With your
handwritten, so you have to decipher them. It's
Stories.
kind of like code. It's an English code. And you got Ed Sheeran, this is Tino. You got Motionless in White. There you go, Devil Wears Prada. There, Ronnie Radke. You got all
Ronnie
these people.
Radke.
Hey,
All right.
I almost got that same tattoo.
Yeah.
All right, let me read one of these.
Nope, not gonna happen. Yep.
The bonnet.
I have
No, I'm
really,
just kidding. They're easy. It's fine to read.
I have really bad writing.
No. It's like, yeah, this was my second
It's
time
my way of
photographing
getting over
21 pilots. I was just making
They're
making a
a
joke.
fun band to shoot.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
What else are we giving away?
Well, I could just, this is all merch about. We can give away this shirt. It glows in the dark. It says "Be Your Sleff." So if you want this shirt, how do they enter?
We're gonna tell them. Don't worry.
You do the
You do
spiels.
this thing, and we'll
If
tell
you
them where to
want
go.
this one and they enter, will they get this one instead?
No.
No.
we got this.
They will
We got
say,
this. You just show
this
stuff.
is the one that I
Sorry.
want.
We got
I'm
this.
overstepping my.
You're good. You're
We got
good.
it. We
This
got
is
it.
my cat, Mark. He's really awesome, especially on tie-dye. So I've merchandised him to fully exploit his existence. So if you want Mark, that is an option.
But
for
this
life.
pays for fresh kitty litter, so it's worth
Fresh
doing.
kitty litter.
Can I
for
say
me.
real quick? I'll give you some promotion. If you're not following him on Snapchat, go follow him on Snapchat because he's a lot of fun to follow. You see lots of stuff from Mark. It's good.
Thanks. Yes, when I'm home, it's Mark. When I'm not home, it's other things. This is another shirt that just says "You Are Here" and has aliens on it.
That's not Uranus.
This one has a tweet on it.
It's
It says,
Uranus.
"Don't make me crop you." We're giving away a lot of stuff.
Here you are. Don't make me crop you. I like
You
that
can give
one.
away whatever you want. You don't have to give away
And
everything.
it's got your logo on the back,
Yeah.
which is anarchy.
You don't have to give away anything you don't want to give away.
I want to give it all away, except for, well, one of your employees said they
wasn't-
wanted this shirt, so. This is a beanie with the alien on it. This is the last one.
Okay.
Let me see.
Because I knew you had a beanie, but you're going somewhere that you need it.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere, and I'm shipped some to my first location I'm going to, so I'll get it once I get there. But the flight there, it's going to be cold, and I wanted a hat, so.
Now here's a question, because I asked you this question.
Yes.
I think maybe the first time we met. I don't
Yes.
remember. So I don't know if it's changed since then. Do you do laundry when you're on the road?
I used to not. I do sometimes now because I like to have a little bit nicer clothes.
Okay.
But I used to just buy clothes and then throw them away. I'd just wear them until they were, and it would
No,
just make.
and what's interesting was how he threw them away. He'd be driving in his Rolls Royce. He rolls down the window and throws it at poor people.
back.
That's what he does. It's terrible.
That is-
All right. So can I ask you a question? This is kind of all related in the stuff, Bo.
Oh, real quick. If you want to enter the contest. Well, no, because we were talking
That
about the
was too low.
giveaways.
That was awesome.
I know, but this was gonna go
Okay,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
No. You go with your contest
All right,
thing.
Brad, please continue.
You go with your contest thing.
Yeah, what Meredith is showing you. KelbyTV.com/contest. Enter the grid, your name, all that crap, and then put in the comments which one of those prizes you want. So
Yeah,
don't
you
get the
just
wrong
write,
one.
I want the beanie, I want the cat
I want the
thing.
one shirt with the thing on the
And then we
stuff.
pick a winner, and we may or may not send it to you. Okay, so here's the thing. I have a question now. Is it okay if I ask this of our guest? Is it okay?
You want me to just go stand over there?
Nah, you're okay. Penalty box. So, have you ever seen another photographer like set up a booth like at a festival and sell their stuff?
No.
I think it's really cool that you did this. What made you decide I'm going to sell my merchandise at a festival?
Well, it was kind of a group effort between the people that worked for me at the time, and we thought it'd be a good idea. And then I worked with Warped Tour, which I've done for like 8 years. So
Vans Warped Tour?
Vans Warped Tour. So they worked with me on it. And then, to be honest, the only reason I could do it is because Western Digital helped me financially to be able to do it. And so I promoted them because I did and in addition to that, I did a workshop every day. So that's actually what it came down to is Warped Tour wanted me to do a workshop every day, and I didn't think it was fair to do the workshop without having a place to also meet fans. Because then what it would come down to is all these people would sign up for the workshop just to meet me. And that would be kind of not very fun for the people who are there to learn.
I would sign up for a workshop just to meet you.
Yeah, but I want the people who are there to really want to learn. So I needed a.
What do you
form-
teach in the workshops?
That workshop was called "Anyone Can Be a Photographer," or "Everyone Can Be a Photographer." Well, whatever words you want. And it was basically, if you want to be a photographer, this is how you get started. This is what I did, and it was just kind of like an encouraging thing for.
And you do it during the festival.
I did it during the festival.
Are bands playing while you're doing it?
Yeah, we have. There's like
Bands are playing all day
Bands
long.
are playing.
Yeah,
all
no,
day
they're
long.
on different stages, right?
Yeah, we
and
have,
they're all
like-
sponsored stages. The Nokia stage, and then
Yeah, it's like a Warped Tour subsidiary kind of another project of Kevin Lyman, the owner. It's called TEI, or the Entertainment Institute, and they have a lot of ones with bands or things like that, and like how to play instruments or how to become a better singer and things like that, so that kids can sign up. And mine was just anyone can be a photographer. So I'm hoping to do it again with them whenever I have time and they'll let me again. But it was awesome. They did a really good job. So that was fun.
I just find that whole thing so fascinating. I'm like, that's really shows an entrepreneurial spirit to create these shirts.
Yeah.
To have like a booth, to have people manning it. You know, it's pretty
Yes.
cool. And to
Well,
create
thank
your
you.
brand.
Thank you.
And you're like shaving your head has become a brand thing.
Yeah. People kiss my head now.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think Brad should shave his head? And just be honest. It's
I
time,
mean,
isn't it?
You should do it just so you can take a photo together.
That would be great. And
That's
you know
what we're
what
doing
though?
after this. He said, let's go shave my
no,
head.
here's what you do though. At the last minute, you put your glasses on him.
Ooh. Switcheroo.
And so it's like
Switch-a-who.
Switcheroo. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for sending in their
Questions.
questions. Thank you. Do you have where can people go learn more about you?
I have a website. It's myname.com. AdamOmakias.com.
It's myname.com.
Not
It's
mine-
myname.com. I wonder if somebody owns that URL.
Dude, somebody owns every URL. There's not a chance.
I have a few URLs that I thought people would own, and they didn't. Somebody owns that.
Yeah.
I have tacos in bed.
Ooh, tacos in
Yeah, because
bed.
sometimes you have to eat a taco in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I tell you something? You're not married, are you? Anyway, so you can eat the taco in my bed. And they're like, you got taco stuff in our bed. It's not going to happen. Not going to.
No, tacos
There will
on the couch.
never be a taco. No way. Okay.
Should have.
So, okay, now, Brad, stop it. Pete, stop it. You guys, can I tell you something? Your minds are in the absolute gutter.
If I was your
right?
wife, I'd let you eat a taco in bed.
I have a timeshare there.
Is there some sick level of jokes that are going on that I'm not realizing?
Yes. So this usually only happens when RC's here because RC has to say something disgusting and then, everybody
I said
picks up.
nothing.
Yeah, but you're giggling like you're a teen, so I know what's going on. I'm not stupid. I'm hip to the...
What, is tacos something like sexual that I'm not realizing here, or what's going on?
Let's
Join
move
us next
on.
week on
Join
The
us
Grid.
next week on The Grid where we talk about everyday foods that are sexual. No, we're not going to do that next week. So can I plug something
Sorry,
for
now I'm
next
thinking
week?
of Superbad.
Now that everyone's paying attention right now, everyone's like locked in. Can I tell you
The
something?
best ones. Sorry.
Next week, all right, we've got some very special guests. So Peter Reed Miller is going to be here along with Damien. Hold on. Wait
I'm
for
not
it.
aware
No, I
of
got
exactly
it.
Who, so. I'm
Strohmeyer. Damien Strohmeyer. So I know that Peter Reed Miller is going to shoot the Super Bowl, right?
That's coming up on Sunday.
Right, it's coming up on Sunday. So he'll just shot the Super Bowl with the brand new Canon 1DX Mark II. All right, so I got a couple of things. So that's next week on The Grid. They're both going to be here, and they're going to be talking about their experiences with the camera.
Are they going to have the camera with them?
They're going to have the camera with them, but that's not the
Come
thing.
back. You can steal it.
That's not the thing.
I'm just kind of embarrassed now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so someone just told him what that reference is. And
I didn't know that. That's so sad. I literally used to have a GIF of somebody. I'm not kidding. It was a person sitting in a bed eating a taco, and that's what the URL was. Now I'm like turning red. Can you see it?
I think you're going to be approached. You're going to be approached by a shady company asking to buy that URL here shortly. All right, no, you can stay. You don't have to go into the.
The penalty box is
I'm
just for
actually
me.
embarrassed. I'm
No,
sweating.
it's because it was.
God. Tapers.
Yeah.
Can we go back to tapers?
So
Papers are awesome.
let me put it this way. I wouldn't Google it. Okay, so listen. Next week, Peter Reed Miller, Damien Strohmeyer are going to be live. Now, I got another thing we're doing. We are doing a separate broadcast. Ready? We're doing a separate broadcast that same day, earlier in the day, just for Kelby One members. So we've got Rudy. You guys know who Rudy is?
Yes, Rudy's
Rudy
great.
is like, he's got a super brain at Canon. He's like a super brain. He's the guy we call if we have any question because he knows everything. He's the guy that you blindfold him, he takes the Canon apart and puts it together. He's that guy for still. And then we're bringing in Brent, the video guy. He knows everything about video, and the video in that camera is just insane. I don't shoot video, but everybody I mention that camera to, they go, oh, it's got real 4K, and it's got this, and it's got that, and they're all crazy about it. We're gonna have both of them in there for a gear talk. So if you want really technical stuff, All right, this is just for Kelby One members. Just for Kelby One members. Next week, we'll publish all the stuff online, but it is members only. And then we'll have the grid later in the day. They're going to talk about, Peter Reed Miller and Damian Strohmeyer are going to talk about hey, the camera I shot it at the Super Bowl is great. But these guys, they're going to answer your questions, and they know everything. I mean, I kid you not. I ask Rudy questions that I can't believe that he knows. He's like the super uber brain. Now, I haven't met Brent, who's going to be on, but he is supposed to be the video super brain. We're going to have two super brains.
He's the video Rudy.
He's the video
Kind of
Rudy.
the opposite of today.
Just for Kelby One members next week. We'll tell you more about it as the week goes on, but it's going to be pretty exciting next week.
And I know you're kind of like Adam, you don't like promoting your own stuff. So if you're not a Kelby One member and you would like to become one, you can go to kelby1.com, pay $20 for the month, and become a Kelby One member.
You could technically...
You get first 10 days free.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Sign up
technically,
today.
you could go and watch it. Just sign up for the 10-day free trial and go and watch the thing, but I didn't tell you that. Anyway, I'd rather you join, quite frankly. But anyway,
rather have your money.
That's next week for members only or potential members that are going to do the free trial.
Yeah.
So where can people go back? They can go to your website. They can learn about you. Should they follow you on Instagram? You seem to be
follow
very
me on
popular there.
Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook.
Snapchat.
I use them all. Snapchat, whatever you want. It's just my last name, except for Facebook. It's AdamElmakias.com.
Let's spell
He's
his
easy to
last
find.
name.
My last name is spelled
E-L-K-A-S.
M-A-K-A.
It's right there on screen. There it is.
It's not Elmakias, it's
It's not Elmakias. It's Elmakias.
That's my portfolio.
There it is. There's some good shots. I can see you've gotten lucky a few times.
I see the guy right there on the left going, he didn't know what taco meant. Sorry.
Oh, man.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
If you're in Dubai, make sure you stop by GPP and CRC.
Yes.
Can we still be friends after this?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Hey, if they're in Dubai, where can they go eat?
so-
What's the name of that place?
Oh, Ravi's.
Ravi's, yes.
If you're in
Go
Dubai,
Ravi's.
go to Ravi's, R-A-V-I-S. It is the most amazing food. I've had a lot of great meals in Dubai. That place is just
good.
It was good and cool and just a really neat place and very inexpensive.
Yes. Adam,
Yeah.
you're awesome. Thank you for joining us today.
You are.
Thank you
Listen
for
to Brad.
having me. I appreciate it.
All right.
This was awesome.
Final question.
Yeah.
Should Brad shave his head?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Squarespace and all of our great sponsors. We'll see you guys here next week for Canon stuff.
Canon special stuff.
Yay!
Huzzah.
Slowly fade out.